And when they do those head-to-head graphics to tease the games, it's going to be, Caleb Williams on one side, Will Levis on the other. But the reality is it should be Jeffrey Simmons, Will Anderson Jr., Daniil Hunter facing off again, DeForest Buckner for the Colts. And that's the thing about these first three games that caught my eye. According to ESPN's pass rush win rate, those three defenses had 3 of the top 7 best four-man rushes in football last year. As much as we love all these Bears playmakers, this offensive line still has some question marks around them. So I think key for Caleb is going to be the question we've all been asking when he's in the NFL. Can he play on time? Can he avoid sacks? I think we will learn that very quickly.
Excited to see Caleb Williams. Also excited to see number 2 overall pick, quarterback Jayden Daniels of the Washington Commanders. We believe he'll be in line to start Week 1 when Washington visits Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, who made a surprising run to the divisional round of the playoffs last year. In Week 3, Daniels is going to make his Monday Night Football debut when he gets matched up against another former LSU and Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Joe Burrow of the Bengals. Burrow coming off of wrist injury that ended his season early last year, so the two LSU guys will be eager to get at each other. And speaking of Heisman Trophy winners, in Week 6, Daniels and the Commanders are going to make the short trip to Baltimore to take on reigning MVP Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. So, Mina, when you look at the start of the season for the Commanders and for their young quarterback, what do you make of it?
So I said the Bears' offensive line has some questions. If they're threat level orange, the Commanders' offensive line is a glaring, beeping red. I am very worried about it and what it will do for young Jayden Daniels. So I think the onus here is on Cliff Kingsbury to put him in a position to succeed, move the pocket, use the threat of his legs to compromise defenses, because top of the schedule, you do face some challenging pass rushes. Todd Bowles, of course, loves to blitz. The Giants' pass rush is going to be sneaky good now that they've added Brian Burns to Dexter Lawrence. You just need to get Jayden Daniels to survive those first few weeks in a very, very challenging circumstance in Washington.
Right, and that's what's very interesting about the relationship with Cliff Kingsbury. It's how do you protect Jayden Daniels? We've all watched him run the football and what sort of quarterback he can be when he breaks the pocket. But last year, much of his success at LSU came as a pocket passer. What are you going to build into this offense to get the football out of his hands? How are you going to utilize Brian Robinson and also the threat of Jayden Daniels' legs very early on in this season as teams are trying to scout you and figure out what you'll do with the athleticism of your young Heisman winning quarterback? And it's going to be very interesting early, and also the progression of Jayden Daniels as he becomes or cements himself as the franchise quarterback of the Washington Commanders.
We're bringing Adam now. Adam, we expect these guys to get the Week 1 starts for their new teams, but they were not the only 2 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. Far from it, in fact. So I want to talk about a couple of the others who have a little bit more murky situations in terms of when they might start. What are the chances we see Drake Maye at quarterback for the Patriots in Week 1?
Dan, by all accounts, when you speak to front offices across the league, they felt like he was a little bit ways away from being ready. And I don't think there's going to be any rush in New England, especially with the Patriots having signed Jacoby Brissett during free agency to stand in and play as a trusted veteran. There's really no rush to get Drake Maye on the field until he's ready. I think you look at the end of the schedule, there seems to be an obvious spot after the road games at Arizona, at Buffalo, for 2 final home games against the Chargers and Bills, which would have him playing in New England. You would think that the Patriots at that point in time might have their fate for the season decided one way or another. And if they are eliminated at that point in time and you wanted to get Drake Maye some reps, that would be a natural time to do it.
Maybe a long wait for Drake Maye. How about J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota?
Listen, if he's what the Vikings thought, then they're going to try to have him ready for opening day. Of course, Sam Darnold also has talent and would be capable of starting on the road at the Giants. They like what they have in Sam Darnold, but that'll be up to J.J. McCarthy to show how far along he is. He's going to have the right tutors there in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell, with the quarterbacks coach Josh McCown. He'll be in line there to step up to be able to start if he can pick up the offense fast enough, learn on the fly, and prove to them that he is what they thought he was when they used a 10th overall pick on him.
All right, one more for you, Adam. Bo Nix in Denver.
Yeah, the schedule is not conducive to him starting early, but you're talking about a quarterback who started 61 games in college, Dan. Nobody's ever started that much. That would give him, as much as anybody else, a chance to be ready for week 1 at Seattle. Tough assignment in front of the 12th man against a Mike McDonald coach defense. There could not be a tougher first week for a rookie quarterback to make a debut than Bo Nix would have in Seattle against the Seahawks. But Sean Payton is awfully confident in Nix. Nix is very adept and smart. He's already begun to pick up the Broncos offense. I don't think it would be a surprise to see him start, but he's going to have to win that job this summer.
Only one I didn't ask you about was Michael Penix Jr. I feel like that's its own show at this point.
Don't even go there.
Right?
Don't even go there.
We won't even go there.